What's up, man? It's Javon Bishop from Knee Deep in the Game. I'm with a special friend of mine, Jacoi Hutchinson. I want to thank him for taking this trip down from DC, man, and making some time to get on the podcast. I'm gonna let him introduce himself, and then we're gonna get in.
What's up, y'all? I'm Jacoi Hutchinson from Maryland. And, this family right here, so I gotta make sure I support always.
Absolutely, man. And first thing I want to do is congratulate you on your transfer to Longwood, man. Congratulations on that. Take us through what went into the decision, and why Longwood.
Yeah. So just my 2 years of experience, I feel like I wanted to find somewhere where I can really, get back to playing like myself, get back to finding that joy in basketball again. And that was a perfect opportunity. I had some visits lined up. The crazy part, and that was my first visit, and like the vibes there was just like almost perfect, and I could tell the coach was pouring into me, he really believed in me, like what I could be. And yeah, so it was pretty much easy.
Absolutely. And can you kind of dive in on what you mean when you say kind of find yourself within the game? Like, at what point did you feel like you lost yourself, and how is this opportunity gonna get you back to what you used to?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say like going through the season, I had ups and downs. I had a great freshman year, I'd say. Going to my sophomore year, I had some expectations, of course. And then got some really good players coming in. Of course, there's adversity hit every season, but it was a point where like I got taken out the lineup, and part of it was in my control, part of it was out of my control a little bit. But going through that whole piece and really finding myself, like what I really wanted to be, type of player I wanted to be, instead of like letting somebody else tell me what I wanted to be. So with that, and just that joy is just like playing free, where I could play free of mind. I'm not really thinking about, oh, am I coming out the game, or like if I take this shot, is it a bad shot? Like just playing free and doing the things I work on every day. So getting back to that, and the coach, he really believed in me. Coach Thomas believed in me. He seen me from high school and my freshman year, and he seen the things that I can do. So just having that freedom for real.
Absolutely. And that's always something that I admire from you from a distance, man. I got a chance to watch you as a freshman, and just you had like an old spirit and just down to earth and always open to listen and learn. Talk about like who molded you as a person. You see a lot of guys who, they come into college and, they kind of come off as like ungrateful. And you always was one of them people where like I could tell like you come from humble beginnings, and you took the George Washington opportunity as just like, I'm not supposed to be here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I think my biggest thing is just God first, like keeping that relationship. I came up like that. My parents raised me like that. My grandma raised me like that. So that's the humility part for me, knowing, it's things bigger than me. But at the end of the day, the gratitude has come from like knowing the position I'm in. Like I came far enough where I know if it was, and today I'd be thankful, I'd be grateful for it all, but still much more to go. So just coming from a family, where basketball was big. My dad, my uncle, everybody played, and just knowing like they proud of me. That's what keep me going, giving me that gratitude, knowing like I can't fail in their eyes. So who was anybody else to judge me?
Absolutely. And, one of the things I look at you and I see, and I'm like, you also zero tolerance for BS.
Yeah.
You stand on your principles and your morals, and, you're an open guy, but like you don't tolerate certain things. Where does that come from? Is that, being around your dad, or
Yeah,
the
for sure.
environment you grew up in, or?
Yeah, I definitely say it's a combination of both of those. For my dad, first of all, that's what I look up to. That's my role model. And then just my environment. That's probably just part of my environment. I say, growing up, the area I grew up playing basketball in D.C., Maryland area, it's all about grit. Everybody gotta go get it on their own. Same as Baltimore. So I know it's just like when you come from that, and you play basketball, you play outside every day, and like you just come up with that and come up with people around you with the same type of attitude, and it just instilled in me. So I don't really tolerate a lot, but
For sure. And that's one of them things I love about you. But at the same time, like, you was able to separate the two. Like, your environment is one thing, and then when you get on the court, you was a respectful individual. Like, how do you know how to decipher the two and also keep away, some of them homeboys you may have back home that we all have, and kind of separate that line,
yeah, for
from
sure.
professionalism and.
Yeah, I say it's just making sure I keep the main thing, and basketball is the main thing for me. So, everybody looking for me to use this as, the way out to help my family, help everybody around me, help my boys. So it's like, I'm gonna have people around me that's really pushing me to do that first, keeping that the main thing. And that's where that come from. So just keeping that the main thing. I know I'll have time for that later when I get to, where I want to get to the pros. So just
Absolutely.
keeping that in mind.
Is these conversations that you having with your people back home, or is this something that they just already kind of know going in, like, we gotta let Jacoi just handle business?
It's like a mixture of both. It's starting to get more like we gotta let Koi handle it now. But before it was just like, having to sit down. It was like my dad already understood it. Having to sit down with some of my homeboys, people, my family, like just letting them know like, I got 4 years to do this. This the last step right here. So whether I'm going overseas to the NBA, like I got to lock in on these 4 years, and everything else come after that. So it took some conversations, and then just also them knowing and realizing like he right there.
For sure. And how big was like having your family there at every single game? Like one thing I love, and I don't even know like what your family situation looks like, but I always seen your mom, your dad, your sisters. They was at every game, win, lose or draw, bad game or good game. They was there to support. Like how big was that for you?
That's the biggest thing for me. That's the most important thing, especially me. Um, my last 2 years of high school, I went to Florida, played. Was away from there, didn't catch a lot of games. But when I grew up playing AAU, like we drove, like me and my mom was talking about, like on Sunday, we drove 14 hours to Tennessee, like doing little stuff like that. So I'm just used to that, having them there, and it's not even like a distraction for me. Anything's like motivation, like I got them in here supporting me if anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So that support always gonna be there. I know for sure. Even me going down to Longwood, I know we already talked about it. They're gonna make them drives, get to as many games as they can.
For sure. Sometimes like I had a chance to like kind of hear the feedback your dad was giving you. And like he always just kept it real. He loved on you first, but then he'd tell you like, Corey, that was some bullshit tonight, man. Like talk about just being able to receive the message even when it's something you don't want to hear.
Yeah, just knowing don't come from no bad place. Like he just wants me to be as successful as I can be. So, you know, everybody always say you want to have people around you that's gonna tell you the real, not gonna just tell you what you want to hear. So, and that's the main culprit of that. And like I said, I look up to him, so I don't take it no kind of way. So I expect him, like, before when I was younger, it was like, damn, my dad going on me, or like I don't want to talk to him after the game. But now it's like you really appreciate that. You really like realize it's coming from a good place. He want me to be successful. So like I'm gonna listen to what you guys say.
Absolutely. And now I want to dive into like when you was in high school, like you were one of the best point guards in the country, and then going, into your freshman year in college. Sometimes you didn't play, and to me, it wasn't always your fault. Like you would have big games, and then the next game you just wouldn't play, and it was just out of your control.
Right.
Part of it is just the season. We had a down year, so they trying different things. So, like, talk about having to make that adjustment and kind of just like figure it out.
Yeah. I'm gonna just keep it real. It was hard for sure. It was hard. Like I got introduced to things like anxiety, type of stuff like that. So it was hard. Definitely part of growing up. But I just got the mindset, like especially with my faith in God, like God used everything for your good. Everything's for good. So I don't really look at it as like, damn, like, oh, I'm not playing this game. My season over, career. Like it's like, nah, you can get that back next game. You know what I'm saying? So, and then just having people around me, like having Bishop around me in the locker room. Like it'll be nights he'll tell you like we in the locker room till 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, like just talking the whole time. So just having them type of people, that him being through that, and other players on the team being going through that on their stuff, and like give me the game, give me the knowledge to deal with that. It was just made it a little bit easier, but it was definitely hard for sure. And it was just like I feel like that's what just molded me into the position I am today. Like just hungry again, like knowing like don't take nothing for granted when you're on that court. Make sure you try and stay on there.
For sure. And I kind of seen you, go through this figuring out process where, you was trying to figure out like how do I put together a schedule that's conducive for me. And sometimes in college, you had your team workouts, you had your lift, but that's team oriented. And the individual skill is kind of what gets you that confidence going into the game. And I seen you start to implement that stuff and get in the gym late at night and get in there early morning, and you started playing consistently good at a consistent rate. Like talk about, how big having a schedule is in college and at the next level.
I think it's the most important because it's easy to do it when you know like okay I got classes this day, this time, practice this time, like that stuff don't change, so you can build around it. So that stuff is just the most important. I learned that. And if anything, I learned it how important it was this second year than my first year because it's just like I was in a position where I'm starting the year starting like I'm thinking like it's good, it's sweet. I can have some days where I'm like all right, my schedule. I'm gonna get back working tomorrow, but it's just like every day matters, especially like in the games when like I have a bad game, I'll be like sorry, I get it back. Or I'm in a slump right now, I get it back. But it's like now you gotta double down on that schedule. So I think being consistent to that, like, and make it even better when you start to see the results showing up. Like I'm hitting shots I know I'm working on every day. So like I got the confidence to take them shots. So it's just the schedule is the most important thing I definitely say.
Absolutely. And, when you were going through those slumps and, those down periods, what did your schedule look like as far as you getting in the gym? Was it a certain amount of shots you were taking? What were you looking to improve? Were you watching film? Like, let us in on, how you got your play back to where it needed to be.
Yeah, for sure. So I say while I was slacking that when I was in my slump, like I said, it was the days I was just like, I'm tired. I'll get in tomorrow, get in the morning. Like, just tweaking my schedule a little bit, but I really shouldn't have. Um, and then just when I'm actually in the gym, like I'll go in there in the mornings. We have morning shooting. That's more of like a little team oriented, but it's like individual at the same time. Practice, and then I'll have class in the evening, and then come in at night shooting a gun. Sometimes I work out with my trainer, but it was just like, especially when I was shooting on a gun, it's like I'm not shooting game shots or like I'm not doing stuff I'm actually going to do. Like I'm shooting threes, fade, and like just wasting time really. So it's like making sure like I had to sit down and realize like my uncle called me because he played basketball too. He called me. He's just like, "How many shots you getting up?" I'm just like, "I just be shooting." Like, just you know what I'm saying. He like, "You gotta know what you're doing every time you go on. You have a with that schedule. You gotta have some specifics to it. Like, I'm getting this many shots from this spot, or I'm working on this move today instead of just freelancing in there." So it's like making it purposeful. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, and I always was big on like, sometimes, shorter increments is better than spending 2 hours in the gym. You could go and get 30, 45 minutes worth of hard work and really get more out of it.
yeah,
Was that something you tried to implement?
100%. I think I like exactly what you said. Like I broke it down too. So like I was like, okay, I'm going in here at 9:30. I'm trying to get out of here by 11, if that. And I broke it down. So I'm like, if I can just get an hour in when I first get there, stretch, get my ball handling for 15, 20 minutes, and then get my shots up specifically what I want to do, that definitely helped me. It made it more efficient too. So I agree.
For sure. And I had brought my young boys down there to play some ones with you and JB. And one thing I was super impressed with you is just like your strength, like how strong you was, and just your ability to stay on your line. Talk about like that transition from IMG to GW, and like what did you do to get to the point where you that strong?
Yeah. I always been like real physical. I played football coming up to high school. I always been real physical at that part. But then it was just like, when I got to IMG, it was like pro training. Like it's like we outside pushing sleds and it's like in the hot summer, like working out with guys like league guys like Jarris and all these guys is already men already. So just doing that and like they setting that standard for me. So down there it's just like it ain't no days off, it ain't no breaks. You're not lifting a small weights over there by yourself. Like you lifting with the big boys. Everybody big boys. So I just took that step and then I fell in love with the weight room really. Down there at IMG, my junior year, I fell in love with the weight room. Got here and just made it even easier to transition.
And just talk about that experience at IMG, and kind of get vague with the viewers, because it's a lot of people watching who will never get that experience at all to play at that level and be around that high level of coaching and facilities. Like, what was it like to be at IMG?
It's a dream for real. Literally a dream. Like when I got the opportunity after my sophomore year, like I just knew I couldn't turn it down. Like I committed on the spot when I seen it on the visit. So it was just a dream. Like it's literally just working out. Like it's like so hard to explain. It's just like literally a dream. Like you just go down there, you go to school in the morning, and the rest of the day you just hooping, working out, playing basketball, playing fives, playing 1-on-1. So it's just all that you can ask for if you really want to be great. If you really want like love basketball, that's the place to go. But it's just like, and it's also like a resort. So it's just like you can enjoy yourself. You outside hanging out with your boys. It's basketball courts outside. You playing with other dudes that's top notch in their sports because at IMG everybody's top level players in
Yeah,
their sports. So you outside playing basketball, football players, the next great soccer player. Like so, it's just great, and then just being around the guys like guys that are in the NBA now, like just seeing the way they compete, the way they work, like it really opened my eyes. Like you always hear like, oh, this guy just got talent. Like nah, they really putting that work every day. So like just seeing that, it's like a growth piece and it's just like an enjoyment piece at the same time.
for sure. And talk about, was it an adjustment being removed from your environment in DC and going into an unfamiliar place in Florida? How was that adjustment there?
Yeah, it was probably the biggest adjustment ever. Like just coming from here, come from the city, it's just like like you everywhere you go, somebody like going down to Florida. Like I knew some people, but it was just different vibe. You got people from especially at IMG is like so international. So we got people from different countries, different continents. So it was just like it was a big adjustment for me, but it helped me learn like how to maneuver around different types of people. You know what I mean? So like yeah, I can kick it with my my black folks, my guys, say certain things. You know what I'm saying? That when you get around, like you gotta be a little bit more professional, a little more formal, and just learn the different ways. So I think if anything, it was good for me for sure, but definitely took a little bit in adjusting. I think it opened my eyes a little bit instead of being just stuck in like the DMV, like oh that's all I know, like just seeing a different way of life. Like it's a little more slower down there, a little more things to do, like going to the beach. So it's just like it was just definitely different, eye opening for sure.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I get from you. That's you like so well rounded. Where like you understand this part of life, but you can get into another field, another realm, and be able to adjust. Is one thing that I love about you, man. Talk about just being in isolation out there. I'm guessing that your parents weren't able to travel with you as much, because you're so far. So like, talk about being isolated and being alone many times.
Uh, the first 2 weeks was probably the roughest for me. It's like I was in my room. I kind of was like I said, it was that adjustment piece. Like, damn, like I'm different, a little bit, and like I'm probably the only guy from my area that's out there other than Jarris. So it's just like it's different. And he was already down there, so it was different for him. But the 2 weeks was different. And to be honest with you, like my mom's and them came down like once a month just to make me comfortable. I went out to eat with them certain days. And then it just took like finding that outlet, like getting in the gym, like them times when I felt like I ain't gonna lie, when I felt sad, when I felt like damn, like I want to go to the crib, I want to go back home, like I want to be more comfortable. It's just like I'm gonna just go in the gym. Let me go outside and talk to somebody, and like, and it just from there just took off for real for me, and it was just easy to just realize like damn, everybody down there, everybody coming from, you got people coming from across the country, they can't even go home to the end of the year, so it's just like their situation not even it's situation way worse than mine. So just realizing that type of stuff, talking to people, hearing people different story where they come from, and it just made me more comfortable.
Was there any outlets or hobbies that you picked up while you was down there?
Um, to be honest, I don't really like do too much like as far as like hobbies and stuff. Other than like playing the game, I had always in the game playing 2K and stuff in the room. But I just like did little stuff like going off campus with the boys and going to the beach or like find little spots we can go to, just real calm stuff, but not no real major hobbies for real.
When did it click for you that you had an opportunity to like be a pro or a chance at the NBA? Like when did that become clear for you?
Um, I would say my freshman year. The second half of the season, first half, like you said, I was going through some ups and downs, of course, fresh typical freshman year. And then I just had a breakthrough for like 6, 7 games straight when
Yeah,
I was just, hooping for
it
real,
was
like
crazy.
all around. So it's just like seeing now, just like, man, I could really do this in the eight. I'm doing this in the A10, so really high level. So just seeing that, and I'm just like, why not take it another step? Like, and I ain't even tapped into my full potential yet. So just taking that, and I was just like, damn, like, let me go ahead and take it, skyrocket with it.
And what are some things like you self-reflected on and you say like, if I don't take these things out of my life, this could hold me back from getting to that ultimate goal?
Yeah, I say with the relationships, like with males and females, like focusing, like I said, this whole topic keeping the main thing, like the whole party and going out to the club, hanging out late at night, like literally like missing out on sleep, like doing that type of stuff. No, that would hold me back. And then, like I said, just being too comfortable, like knowing like I'm home, like I'm in DC, I'm home, but I'm also on campus. It's different. Like I can go outside, I can call my dude tonight, like pull up, bro, like let's chill, whatever. But it's just like putting that aside, like I said, just keeping the main thing. Like anything that's not pushing me forward and helping me to get better on the court, then gotta wait.
So has that led you to like not have many friends, or is there people that you have associated yourself with to make sure that you align with the main goal?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I like lost any friends or anything like that. Definitely like maybe like a little bit of distance, but like I said, I'm pretty sure they understand. I hope so. But then just meeting guys, like I said, like I'm saying, like meeting Bishop, meeting even like a guy like Bob Batunde, like meeting those type of guys that's older and like they on the grind too. Like they like on their last straw though. Like this they last year to get there. So I'm seeing the extra grind. Like I want to start that for my freshman year, my sophomore year. It's already ahead of the game. You know what I'm saying? So just seeing that and then bringing those guys along with me. You know, for example, like I was on the phone with JB right before I committed for like 3 hours straight, just talking, like literally weighing my options. Like, bro, this is all I want to do. Like, I'm just knowing, like, yo, you've been through this already. Like, you know what's best. Like, so just bringing those guys along with me too, like knowing that they're gonna give me the right advice.
For sure. And how big is the pressure of NIL, to perform? How big is that, impacted you on your just day-to-day performance? Is this something that you think about day to day, or do you kind of
Um,
just let the plate like, and like I want to get a real
yeah,
answer,
not for sure. Just to be real, like my sophomore year, NIL was introduced to me this past season, and it was just like it was like a baby step for me. It was just like, all right, I'm getting a little bit of money now, but like, all right, let me make sure. Cause you hear everybody say like, don't let the money change. So like, all right, let me keep hooping. But like, when you hit that portal, you start to hear numbers. You start to hear shit. It's just like, damn, like, do I want to go somewhere where I can get paid, or like, do I want to go somewhere where I can hoop and sacrifice a little bit of bread? You know what I'm saying? So it was just that piece, and then honestly, like, I don't feel no pressure from it, cause just like, money is not really everything to me. It's like I'd have made it without having hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's just
For
like
sure.
I can still act the same even if I got it. You know what I'm saying? So to be honest, ain't no really pressure. It's just, if anything, it's a gift to me. It's a blessing to be able to play and get compensated for playing. So just looking at it like that way, in a humble way.
Yeah, and for like guys like us who come from where we come from, like, having hundreds of thousands of dollars for us is like it's foreign. So
Yeah,
like, when you get that lump sum of money, like talk about the financial literacy you have to like not wake up and just blow it or do
yeah,
certain things and buy things because you wanted it and never had it. Like talk about
yeah.
that.
It's crazy you say that because like I really remember like getting my first couple checks. It's like, nah, I'm looking at cars I want to get. I'm looking at cars. I'm looking at all right, this dude got a jury. Like I'm looking at juries. Like it's real. Like it's going to hit you. Like you might make a couple bad purchases, but it's just like having the right. It's like the biggest thing having the right people around you. Like guys that been getting paid, that's getting paid with you, or that's not getting paid. Like just having all three of those outlets, so you know what it's like. And like you said, come from the area, like I was able to still move and literally survive without having that much money. So it's just like, why would I change and feel like I gotta live another lifestyle when I was good where I was? You know what I'm saying? If anything, use it to elevate me. Like I want to like use my bread. Like I'll start my LLC. Like give back. Like I want to be able to give back so people can get to where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Help out people that is going through the same stuff that I went through growing up. You know what I'm saying? So
For sure.
just that type of vibe for me. And yeah.
Who are you talking to when you having these conversations about where to invest your money and what to do with it in the future? Are you having conversations with certain people within your family, or who are those conversations being had with?
Probably the biggest is my mother, my father for sure. My mom, she the queen, so she making sure she take care of all that. And my dad just giving me the same thing. Like he grew up the same way I grew up. Probably a little bit worse to be honest. So it's just like him giving me the game. Like yo, when you get this check, put up this amount and spend. You can spend this amount. But like make sure you be wise with it. Like you was living off $100 in a week. Like make that $100 stretch the same way. You got more money saved up. You know what I'm saying? So just that piece, and then also talking at GW, I got real close with Miss Danya. She compliance, she working compliance. She like a top dog at GW. So just getting a little bit of game with her, like her helping me open up like little accounts where I can have my savings and like make money in my savings account, like little stuff like that, stuff I never knew, and even like little stuff like the credit card stuff, like just introduce me to all that financial literacy stuff, and just taking like, we had like meetings about it and stuff like that. So just really taking heed to all that knowledge.
And like any small advice you have just for these viewers who, we might have a high school kid who one day might get some NIL, like any advice for them on, how to manage it and just, some tips on like what you said, but just
Yeah.
going a little deeper into it.
I definitely say like for me, I like she helped me find a app. There's plenty of apps out there, but like an app like one called Marcus. I use an app called Marcus where like you can have your money in your savings, but like, if you have your money in your checkings, it ain't gonna make no money. It ain't gonna grow. So have your money in your savings, like putting that money you're not gonna touch, and then letting it grow over time, and you come back however many years later and your bread there. So just that's the biggest thing for me. Like have your money in your savings account. Don't just have all your money sitting in your checking and like or like putting all your money in cash. Like your money ain't really growing. You know what I'm saying? So
For sure.
having it or investing. Like I'm not really big into it. I'm slowly getting into it because I got like my cousin. He live in California. He's like big on all that, so he give me a little bit of game on it. But like even with that piece, I know some good things out there to invest your money in and let it sit and let it grow over time. So just don't let your money sit in your checking account or like have it in cash because you know trying to look sweet or whatever. So just having your savings, let it grow over time and make free money. You know?
And I'm sorry, I didn't want to keep asking you the same question,
Yeah,
but some of those things that you gave, some of these viewers are never hear, like that app I never heard of. So I appreciate you really going into detail.
for sure.
And it sounds like you saying like make sure your money working for you.
Yeah,
I know we come from like, I want to have 10K sitting out my pocket.
for real.
We got to get far away from that if we want to take the next level in life. So I really do appreciate that. I was listening to it as well too. Um, Talk about just that takeover family that you grew up in, and I'm always intrigued with guys who come from the takeover family because I just love how y'all move, and it's one of them things where I see like they still support you even though you out the program.
Facts.
Is whether or not it's you calling or guys coming up to the school and having conversations with the coaches. Like I love that. I feel like that's what a real program is supposed to be. So can you just talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. For me growing up, so I started playing with Takeover in seventh grade. So before that, I was playing, DC teams, local teams with, my family, stuff like that. And when I got to Takeover, it was just like, you see them, they winning all the tournaments. Like, you like, that's another level. So when I got there, the guys that I started playing with in seventh grade, I played with them all the way up to 17U. So we just got that bond with the players and the coaches. So when the coaches says like, we 15U, but we know the coaches on 16U because we in the gym with them every day. So we seeing y'all next year. We know we're gonna play for y'all. So everybody's just comfortable, and it's just like it's really a family. Like you see all the guys like Coach Keith running it, but it's other pieces. Coach Jamil, all the other guys is getting guys jobs and getting players at certain schools. Like some dudes coming out of high school with no offers and they get into a spot and being successful there. So, and just like talking about the aftermath of it, like this year, Coach Jamil, he coached the 17U. He was at like 3 or 4 of our home games, sitting right there on the sideline, like like saying little stuff in the game, like it's just like feeling like it's like I was playing AU, like that joy piece. You know what I'm saying? And then like Coach Keith, like you might not talk to him every day, but if you need something, you can pick up that phone and call him. And he gonna answer, and make sure he get it done like right then and there. So it's just a family piece, and this is love because it's just like we went through all this stuff together, adversity for years, like literally seventh grade to 17U for me, like adversity, winning, and it's just like it carry on over in life. So I think just being with that program is just like, you know, one of the best programs in the country, to be honest. Because I had a chance to leave my 17th year and like figure out like, oh, I want to go somewhere where I can hoop, get off. But it's just like, nah, you want to grow up in that where like they're gonna teach you how to play the right way, like be prepared for the next level, and also like make sure they take care of you, love you like family. You know.
Yeah, and the biggest thing I love is like even when you was going through again your down period, they were still there to support.
Yeah.
And like, it's hard to find guys when, even if it's not at your hottest moment, like just there to support and pulling up on you and checking in on you, because that's when you need the most support.
Facts.
It's not when you flaming up. You don't need the support. It's really when, you having them downtime. So I love that about the program. And, somebody like Keith Stevens who just has 100,000 things to do, could find an excuse on why
Man.
not to answer your phone call, why not to pull up on you. But, he's just stayed consistent no matter if you're a #1 draft pick in the country or you going through something in the A10. It doesn't matter to
Facts.
him.
100%.
He's there for the person.
Yeah.
And I love that. Talk to the audience just about, what we can expect from you, next year at Longwood University. Like, what do you have your mind set on doing next year? What goals do you have that you want to accomplish? And, what player do you want to be known as next year?
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely gonna be all conference guard. First team all conference. That's my goal. That's my biggest goal right there. And just they got a history of winning. They won last year, made it to March Madness 2022. So if I could when I be the point guard on that team and lead them to March Madness, like that's gonna be my goal. That's what everybody gonna see. So that's my biggest thing. And just like I said, getting back to that joy piece, playing like myself, playing like how I played. When I was top 20 in the country and AAU and all that stuff, like getting back to that and like the love for the game, that like joy that I show. You know what I'm saying? So,
For sure. And you're one of them guys I look at like, I mean, you don't have many flaws to your game. Like, you can shoot it. You're really good in pick and roll. You defend. You're in pretty great shape. Like, what things are you looking at in the offseason saying that I need to improve on?
My confidence, like my confidence to be able to know that I can do that like at a high level every game. So my confidence and consistency. So just putting that work in for it's just muscle memory when I'm out there hooping, whether I'm playing 30 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. Building that confidence back up, that joy, like I said, just finding love for the game, getting back to playing outside, playing fives, little stuff like that. And then with my game specifically, I say my explosiveness. I'm focused on that real this summer, trying to play above the rim.
Okay.
Trying to get back to that. So when I get to that, and yeah, I feel like it's a big piece of my game.
Is there anything consistent that you see when you're in flow versus when you out of flow? Because I'm trying to gauge like how do you work on like your confidence? Because every time I see you, your confidence has always been high. I mean, you have down periods, but how do you work on confidence?
I think it's just the reps. Like I said, for knowing what you're working on, and like I feel like the person you're working out with is the most important. Like if I'm working out and I'm like not getting to my spot as fast as I can or not elevating enough of my jump shot and you're not pointing it out, like that's like, all right, bad. Like you paying attention. So like now I'm paying, you know what I'm saying? So it's like now I'm paying attention. And then just the reps. Like if I know I'm coming off the screen, getting to the elbow every night, I'm shooting that shot every night, making 25 jumpers from right there every night. I just know like I'm confident in that shot. Like I know if it comes in the game, it's gonna happen like this. I'm just gonna knock it down. So that's that confidence piece. I feel like just repping it and repping it over and over again.
For sure. And after you finish your career and you play in the league or you go overseas, where do you see yourself at after the ball is over?
That's my biggest question right now. Honestly, I definitely won't be somebody that just give back. Like not even just with money or nothing, but like with the game and just like mentally, like using everything I've been through, everything I'm going through, everything that will go through, all the adversity, like helping out the next kid that's going through it. So like just feel like being that figure that I feel like aside from like my dad or like my uncle, like family that I didn't really have, like other than because sometimes you want to get away from your family, like have somebody else that's like really like unbiased. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like just being that for the young dudes coming up after me. My youngest just playing in middle school, high school right now, and just that's what I feel like I want to be. Just do that. That's still around. That give back. That was successful and can give game to the next generation coming up.
Yeah, you played at the highest level at every single level. Like, could you see yourself one day coaching? Because you got a super high IQ for the
Yeah.
game. That's something you could see yourself doing?
I feel like coaching is just like so much pressure, yo. Like dealing with kids that's like having a bad game, you gotta worry about how to talk to them and stuff like that. Like I feel like I'm too real, not too real, but like I would have to have a certain like group of guys to like really coach. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely would think about it. But if anything, I probably would do more like training and stuff like that. And
Player development.
Yeah, player development for sure.
For sure. Anybody like? Do you watch anything now as far as the player development stuff go, or like, do you ever take yourself to like what you want to do after, or this something you really kind of never even really thought about?
This is something I never really thought about until like recently. Honest, I've been working out with a dude named Alex McLean.
Mhm.
He was player development with the Wizards and another team. I can't remember right now, but just seeing how he is, like how he moves, like you could tell he know he doing what he talking about. Like I want to be like that after, you know what I'm saying? So just a respectable dude that like put in the work, got the accolades, put in work, like you said, played at the highest level. So it's just like got the game. So I think that.
For sure. And before we get off, man, take me through like what y'all workouts look like. Like I'm in the player development space, and
Yeah,
I love to hear what other guys are doing. Like, what does y'all workouts look like, and what separates him from all the other stuff that you've kind of done?
for sure. So with him, so I work out with I'll go into with him. Well, first Alex McLean, we like do a lot of like jump shot stuff. So like he helped me with like the pace of my jump shot, getting it off quicker, like focusing on real specific things that like you might not really see. Like if I'm in the game hooping, I'm just in the flow. You know what I'm saying? So like little stuff like he had me doing one drill. It was crazy. Like I'm shooting the ball, boom, getting it off quick, and then like I'm catching it. But I got my eyes closed. So like at this point, I'm not thinking about it. I'm just like shooting. However he got me shooting, I could do it with my eyes closed. So that one thing that stood out to me. And then it's just like working on the little details, like getting past the defender, the shoulder next to his hip, like little stuff like that. Like kind of some of the stuff that I seen you doing with James Bishop actually a little bit. And just focusing on stuff that's like tailored to my game, like that individual work, or like stuff that I got to work on, like coming off the screen, getting straight to the floater, or like just little stuff that he sees on that specific day. You know what I'm saying?
For
So
sure.
with him, and then with my other guy, Coach Durkee, like yesterday I worked out with him, and just he got more of like the dribble moves for me, and like the conditioning with it and stuff like that. So I feel like I work out with different guys for different things
Different
during
thing.
the
Yep.
week. Like my other guy, Coach Darrell, was just like more like jump shot stuff, like getting to my jumper, moves to the jumper. So I feel like every dude I train with got something specific, but like with each of them specifically, they know. I feel like it's like what they did, what they were really good at, so like they can give me their game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you
So
just take little stuff
take
from
little
different.
stuff from each person. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, the one thing
I think
I do like about what you were saying about Alex is it sound like he just does his homework on your game,
yes,
and so your workouts are real player specific.
yeah,
And I love that because you see a lot of times where like people don't even take the time to like understand who they training, or what kind of system this player is gonna be playing, and they kind of just throw shit at the wall. And so when you have a guy that's like really taking the time to know you as a player, I think it just works a lot better.
facts. Because even with that, like he came to one game. You know, sometimes if folks comes to the game, they'll just watch the game. Like he telling me stuff like, "Yo, when you was on the right wing in the game, it's like 3 days later. Like when you was on the right wing in the game, you could have bought the ball here and just gone. Like it was like little stuff like that. I'm just like, damn, you really paying attention. So I really respect. I really understand what you're talking about. So that's just the biggest thing.
Absolutely, man. Well, there you have it, man. That's my guy, Jacoi Hutchinson. I appreciate y'all for tuning in on Knee Deep in the Game. We checking out.